Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Got another couple of hours here until lunchtime, so I'm going to try to get these walls in, and I'm trying to find some common. Oh, looking at my phone there. I've got the comments going on the phone here, so I can see them. So I guess the easiest thing to do here, and this is kind of a neat feature for that SketchUp has, is just to offset this, and we're going to make them 6.5 for our exterior wall dimension, and then we'll just come in here and do the same thing, but I'll have to delete this one, and I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one and this one. I like my lines to be single lines, and you'll see why later if you watch all of this all the way through, because when you pull these walls up in 3 dimensions, you'll have, if this was 2 actual line segments, you would have a line on the wall when you pulled it up in 3 dimensions. So just makes it cleaner. So now we have our exterior walls there. That's cool. And I got a message from the owner, and he said, I'm not sure why I can't, what is going on with my orbit tool? Here we go. He said I could make this an 18-foot door, which I think is, or he said a single door, which I think is better, because you have much more room. Feet. I have a pretty big sized truck myself, and it just makes it easier getting in and out. And then over here would be an 8-foot door, 4 feet, for the golf cart, or I think let's see, that's going to center the door. It's okay for a golf cart. Maybe it's a 4-wheeler type thing. It's a pretty big piece of property out in Texas, so it may not be a golf cart. It may be like a 4-wheeler or something. But that makes sense there. Now if I get this back around. So I just realized, since I started vlog number 2, this is a series of vlogs I'm doing of live work sessions on this home. It's for a customer out in Texas. So this home's going to be on a slab, which is good for the framing contractor, because putting a crawl space in here would be very much fun. With all the girders and floor joists, spans, and all that. So, but one thing I was noticing here is I've got some kind of common thing going. When I start thinking about framing, as I'm drawing this house, I'm thinking about it in 3 dimensions, even though I'm drawing it in 2 dimensions to begin with. Stinking black screen. It's almost like I upgraded the memory on my computer. It's still working, and I thought that was going to take care of that black screen thing, but I got to be careful, because sometimes it will stop recording the screen, and which is a huge waste. It'll just be me talking for an hour, so which is, I'm sure, pretty annoying as it is. But what I was saying was, I'm trying to come up with common walls that, because I'm thinking about my rafters, right? It would be nice if this wall had continued through, but I kind of see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to create a little inset for the door, I guess. So we'll honor that, but it would be, well, this is probably going to be a valley here anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter. All I need to do is establish the length of the bedroom. That says 17.6. So we'll see where that puts us. Now again, if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, I guess I'm going to make all these walls 2x6 for now, because so there may be some higher ceilings. And if you've got 10-foot walls, you don't want it's borderline, you know, whether you want to use 2x4s or not. So I think what's going on here is we go here, and then they want another 12 inches, looks like, and then I don't know, maybe it looks like it might be more than that. Maybe it's 16. Let's go 4 more. Again, I'm just trying to rough these walls out, and then we can talk about details with the owner. And then I know for this kitchen right here, I know this has to be at least, it's 28 inches is really a good number there for those cabinet, for that cabinet depth. So yeah, I'm going to come out here. Let me delete these. I get confused easily. 28. Let's see what that is. It's 1 foot. So I'm not quite sold on this little deal, but we'll draw it that way. Then we come down. Six feet. I may have to print this drawing out so I don't have to keep zooming in and out. And then this one's, I'm just going to run this down here for right now. I'm all for keeping things simple unless you can convince me that there's a good reason for doing something, you know. Unless you're paying me, then I'll do it however you want me to. But simple is better. Simple is the default. Oopsie. Thank God for the Control Z. So, and I like to keep these corners clipped out as I go. And I don't know, that kind of makes sense. I don't know. Sometimes these architects will just throw in little bumps to make, they think it makes things interesting, but it probably should be in the middle. Like if that's that, and that's that, and that's 2'10", probably should make it 2 feet. So if I move this out another 1.5 inches. And I know I'm getting into probably too much detail right now, but I gotta catch myself from doing that. I tend to get too involved in the beginning. That's 1 foot 1.5, and this is 1 foot 4. So I'll move this back, 2 inches. But you see, you can't get it 1 foot 3, 1 foot 2. So you can't get it because of the walls. The walls are 6.5 inches thick. You see, that's about as much logic as I can apply to that spot right there. So what I may do is print this out. Well, no, it'll be okay. So my next wall, my next big question is from here. What is that going to be? I think it makes more sense to go here. Yeah, to figure out this little potty room first, because what you want is you're going to want at least a minimum of 3 feet in here. I really feel kind of weird about making all these walls 6.5 inches, but because they're going to take up a lot of space. But until I know now that this potty right here, this needs to be at least 3 feet to the door. That opens out, but what I would do is I would open this door in, and I won't worry about door swings right now, but I will think about them as I'm drawing. So that needs to be at least a 2'4" door. So you need 3 feet there. The toilet's about 28, an elongated toilet's like 28 inches. So depending on how far off the wall, it's not supposed to sit that far off, but I usually leave 36 inches, and then you'll want another at least 3 inches for the door to start, and then you'll want 2'6", and then 4.5 inches. So here's where I start to get into my sort of, let's see, sort of mode of how big do things need to be. I need to ask the owner a question. Sorry, I was trying to see if I could raise the owner. Is that my 3 feet? Yeah. Now what I was saying was, I kind of feel funny making all these walls 2x6s, but if we I've been trying to experiment too about how to do when I pull my walls up. Oops, wrong. What have I done here? Okay, so the owner just texted me 2x4s are preferred. Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you're not going to go, as long as you keep your ceilings to 9 feet, if we're going to go, I guess you could go, I mean, you're kind of stretching it going 10 feet with 2x4s. You're going to end up with it's like a big bass drum at some point when your walls get above a certain height. We can show them as 2x4s. I think that's probably the smartest thing to do, and then deal with how we would with that later. But you really, like on some of these areas where even if you wanted a 12-foot ceiling in your family room, you'd have to go to 2x6 walls there. So we'll have to kind of get into some of these details at some point, but I really don't want to draw. I don't want to get too deep into the drawings until I have some of the details worked out. It's just like this little bathroom here. Really, the whole thing, you start over with if it's 2x4 walls, because now I can come here 4.5 and turn my keyboard light up. Then I can go 3 feet. Then I can go 4.5. Then I can go 3 feet. And then I can go, repeat everything. But I've saved 6, and then 4.5, and then 4.5. Some of these numbers are just numbers I just know that have, like, I'm framing the wall in my head as I go. And so, and I'm not one of these guys who draws things that don't mean anything. When I draw something, I want it to represent real life. So that makes more sense. And then here, let's go back to here, and we'll revisit this right quick. We'll just come here. We'll get rid of these. Let's see, this will be, so I can get this fixed right quick. I mean, it makes sense. It makes more sense if space-wise and also dollars and cents-wise to make them 2x4s. You just got to be, if we make this 4.5 this way, that makes more sense too. You just got to be ready if you start raising the height of your wall. You know, you're going to have a big old bouncy wall at some point. I mean, I've literally, on a 10-foot wall, you can hit it and the whole wall will shake. A 2x4 wall with drywall on both the sides. And there's not much you can do. You can block, you know, you can maybe put blocking halfway up, but you gotta remember that you could have just, if you spent the time to cut 14.5-inch blocks and put them between all your studs halfway up, that labor is equal to have just using 2x6 studs. So you gotta decide where your priorities are, you know. And so then we got that wall, that established, that wall goes over to that wall. So then we want to establish this. So I'm thinking this ought to be at least, if that is there, and that is there, and we want at least this is 2 feet, and then what's that? Yeah. But we've got this wall established. What are our other concerns here? We got this utility area. That says 7 feet 5. So that's 2 feet. Let's see, 7 foot. Yeah, let's make this. Let's bring this wall down. Let's make this bring this wall back down here for a while. Just bring it back down here for a while. If that was going to be 7'6", that would give us that wall. Then we'll work backwards and then see what kind of space that gives us. 4.5. Yeah, it's certainly going to be. So then if we had 2 feet, if you had 2 feet for counters, that's really not that much, that's not enough space for the door. Let's see. Let me go back to my comments here on my phone. Make sure I don't have any. This toilet, I mean, if you went to the bare bones, that would be at least 30 inches. Okay, the toilet's 28. Let's say they didn't get it all the way up against the wall. Then let's say you give yourself 3 inches to the door, and then I mean it would be nice to have a 2'4" door there at least. I mean, you know, a big house, you don't want little tiny doors in it. And then if you, I'm going to delete this line. It's because I'm working that way. And then you got to have 4.5. Usually we'll have 4.5 here. And then you'll have 4.5. The reason I say 4.5 is because we usually leave we usually use 3 2x4s before a door. What that does is it gives you enough room for your casing to go beside the door before you hit this wall, this corner here. So then, what would that give us? Let's take this off. Let's work in the other direction. Let's say again, we want 4.5, and then we want a 3-foot door there, and then we want 2 feet. So if I go that route, we're looking at 11'2", 11'6". Okay, let's go back over here and see what we would have. Yeah, 11'7". So okay, I think what we'll do is 11'6", and then we'll go back and revisit this bathroom. So we'll say this is 30, and I said 3, and I said 2'4", and I said 4.5. That's cutting it close. I think I should add the 2 inches on the rough opening for the door. It's 2. I think that's probably the bare minimum. You would want to move this back. Then you'd have 4.5. Then you'd have 36. Then you'd have 2 feet. Right on the money, 2 foot 1.5. So I feel comfortable making that 4.5 inch wall there. There we go. We're talking. We're in business now. And then this wall comes over, and then that goes up to there, and we're starting to get somewhere. This comes all the way down, doesn't it? Does that come all the way down? Yeah, that's the utility room wall. So we're just going to run it down to here for right now. And we'll clean this up. I kind of like SketchUp making those faces, but in there, but then it's annoying sometimes because I don't like them while I'm drawing walls and stuff. But it does let me know if I think I may leave. No, I want to raise those walls all at the same time. So okay, so where are we now? We got this little deal here where it says this closet is 12 feet long in that direction. Let's see if they're telling the truth or not. Well, dang, that puts it right there, which is what I would like to do. Let's see if we can get by with that. Let's see if I can get by. Because I mean, we don't have to worry about walls lining up for our slab, but it would be nice if we could line up some walls for ceiling joists for our floor framing. Our attic framing above, and some of it may be floor framing because we're thinking about putting another bedroom upstairs. So, to have some of these walls common, now I can run the same length of joist across here, or I can run them this way, So having this little offset in here is not necessarily the best thing. It may become an annoyance at some point, but we can always offset it if we want to. But now, where's my, this is going to be a little different here. It looks like this little triangle looks like it's going to be bigger, because this says they want this exercise room 10 feet 5 in this direction, and this is 9 feet 4. So let's go 10 feet 5 from here, just for the fun of it. Let's go 10 foot 6. I don't like 10 foot 5. Well, I don't know, that makes an awful big triangle there, doesn't it? And they want a window here. I think the width of my garage may got out of hand a little bit here. I may have to, well, yeah, I mean, this garage doesn't have to be, yeah, that's 3 feet. Now see, this is where using a big door here starts to make this more efficient, because now all I really need is 2 foot 6 here, and then I go my 18. So let's say I've already got that, and let's say I go 2 foot 6 here. I think, yeah, this is where I can start to save. And then if I go 6.5, I can move this over. To there, and then I can go. And this may not save a lot of room, but it looks like I need to at least consider this, because 8 feet. And then that was, how wide is this? I think we're going to try to, I think I'm going to try to sneak a foot out of this. So what I want to do is probably break this right here. I think I can, I don't think I can move that without breaking it. I can move this. See, over 12 inches. Oops. Yeah. And that gives us a little more room right here. Not a whole lot more room, but you could get a window in there. I'm wondering why they've got so much more room there than I do, but that's a detail. Oops, dang, gotta be careful with your eraser, don't you? I meant to lock that. I think what I need to do is make this, that, a group. And lock it, so now I can't delete it now. See, if I try to delete it, I can't delete it. Bad news is, oh well, it's either red or blue. So this is a bit of a mystery. They've got, I think they've got their garage a little bit less wide than I have. They've got 35.5, and if that's the interior, no, that'd be about right. I mean, I've got this at 36 feet from there. Surely they weren't talking about in here. I don't think I would go any smaller than that. The only thing you could do is bring it, like, let me delete this. You could make this, if I made all this a group, then we can kind of play with the location of it. Once you make it a group, it kind of separates it from the geometry, and then you can I can slide it down like that, see? So there may be, so if I drop that down 24 inches like that, that makes this porch deeper right here, and this would come on down. So that'll be a way to kind of play with the dimensions there. That at least gives you enough room to get a window. Huh, it's more space than I thought it was. Good Lord. That's 6 feet. So, and that makes this five feet. I like that number. So that's fine. What is it out here? Don't like that. 9'7" and 1/16. That's nasty. Oh well, I can play with that. That's going to be the only weird dimension on the whole exterior, because this is, and it's because this is at a 45-degree angle. That's 36 feet. What have I got this? 7 feet. That's probably going to be the one weird spot on the whole house. Yeah, I'll just have to turn my tolerances off. I'll make the tolerance a 1/4 inch. But let's see how we're doing here. Am I still broadcasting?